Hello again, Bill Pfeiffer from Marysville. So very, very good to be with you. It's always good to be with you. You know, these are special moments and good things are happening, and I really believe that. A few years ago in the back of a church, they were giving away a book that by Matthew Kelly called The Biggest Lie in the History of Christianity. How modern culture is robbing billions of people of happiness. Matthew Kelly is a New York Times best-selling author, and I thought, I picked one up and I read it, and it's small, as you can see, not many pages, but some real wisdom in it, and it's really was really worth my time. He begins in the book with a story that tells of a businessman who's preparing a very important speech for the evening to his associates, and he's a little bit late in the process, so he's kind of tense about preparing this speech. And after about an hour's work, his wife comes in and says, "Gee, I got to do some errands in town. Would you mind taking care of our son? He's a 7-year-old boy." And the fellow says, "Sure, I can do that." And so the boy becomes pretty annoying pretty quickly for the father. He's in the den working on his talk. And the father ends up paging through a magazine, and there in the magazine he discovers a picture of the world. And he thinks, well, clever idea. He's going to take that, and he rips it up into dozens of pieces, puts it into the next room on the floor, and asks his son to put it together. He said, "You put that together and I'll give you $20. And so in about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, the boy's knocking on the door, and he comes in, and the puzzle's finished. And the father, how did he know all of these parts of the world and how they would fit? And the little boy explained to him that as he began turning the pieces over, he saw a man on the other side, and all he did was fix up the man, and the world took care of itself. I often tell this story with a different twist, using a family as a picture on the other side, and the end up punchline is, of course, well, all I had to do, the son says, is put the family back together, and the world took care of itself. And of course, that happens with both of the stories. Put together man, put together the family, and the rest of the world takes care of itself. Matthew then, in large, bold print, says under his introductory story, "Transforming people one at a time is at the heart of God's plan for the world." Transforming people one at a time. That's all it takes to transform the whole world. Boy, what a piece of information. This is a part of the biggest lie in the history of Christianity. And we do know it is transformation, isn't it? It's not information, inspiration, education, exhortation, explanation, but it's transformation. It is transformed people who transform people. Untransformed people don't transform people in any particular way except in a negative way. And then he continues, so transforming people one at a time is at the heart of God's plan for the world. It is also essential to developing dynamic marriages, loving families, vibrant Christian communities, thriving businesses and economies, and extraordinary schools and nations. Billions of people are being robbed of this happiness. If you get the man right, or the woman, of course, you get the world right. Boy, pretty simple story, isn't it? And a pretty simple solution, but you'd expect that the God who made all of this would have come up with a plan whereby we could end up being happy, whole, working in an integral, unified way with each other. That's a part of the plan. We just don't understand it, or we ignore it. And how does this plan work? Well, it's prayer. Prayer puts us together, swimming in God's presence, in His power, in His life, in His love, and it gives us the ability to have all of the wisdom in order to be able to do this. Without wisdom, the people perish, says Proverbs, and that's the absolute truth. And we have very little wisdom in the society that we live in today. To be able to pray, We have to be robbers ourselves. He said billions are being robbed of happiness. We have to be robbers. We have to learn how to steal time for prayer, to give up a little bit of our TV time, our gaming time, our sporting time. Pick up the kids 15 or 20 minutes early and sit in the car and pray. You got to learn how to, holy thievery. You got to learn how to steal time. Cindy, my wife, used to say to me, we have 6 kids, and she'd say, go upstairs, Bill, and pray for an hour before you cut the grass. Or I'd say, Sim, before you prepare supper, go up and pray for an hour. You need to be away from things in order to reestablish your own spiritual life so that you can transform people, because you are transformed. It's not complicated, but it takes time. And in some ways, we have to be involved in holy thievery in order to be able to do that well. So what's the story? Fix up the man, fix up the woman, fix up the family, and everything else works out beautifully. It's not complicated, not easy, and we have no wisdom. Where there is no wisdom, the people perish, and that's what we see happening around us. We can change that all by, first of all, getting our lives and our priorities in right order. It's always the same situation, isn't it? Happiness, you want to be happy tomorrow. Happiness tomorrow always begins by doing the truth today. Good to be with you. Look forward to being with you again. God bless. You have my thoughts and prayers.